This is the best pot roast with potatoes and sauce, a homemade dish that wins you over at the first bite. In the pot, I placed a piece of rump roast. I added a drizzle of olive oil and waited for the meat to brown on all sides, sealing in all its juices and flavor. The meat has now browned completely, remaining well sealed. Now I remove it and set it aside to rest. In the same pot, I added 1 chopped onion, also 1 chopped green bell pepper, and 3 chopped garlic cloves. An irresistible aroma will develop. I also added sweet chili pepper and allspice. I stir well to make a light sauté and awaken the flavors. I return the meat to the pot. I add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of mixed seasoning. Though any other seasoning of choice can be used, I also add soy sauce to intensify the flavor. I stir gently so the seasoning coats every fiber of the meat. I place bay leaves, 4 in total. I have already added enough water to cover, going about 2 finger widths above the meat. I close the pot and let it cook for 50 minutes, allowing the magic to happen slowly. When opening the pot, the meat is as tender as butter and full of flavor. The result is a true culinary masterpiece. I remove the meat from the pot. I partially drain the broth, keeping all its aroma. I transfer the meat to a larger pot. I add the remaining broth from the pressure cooker. Along with the meat, I place whole potatoes. Arranging them around is the perfect companions. I add a bit more water, only to prevent the meat from drying out. Turn on the heat and let it cook for 20 more minutes, until the potatoes are tender enough to fall apart with a fork. I remove the meat from the pot. I place it on a cutting board. I cut it into several generous pieces. The meat remains juicy and fragrant, an invitation to taste it immediately. After cutting it, I return it to the pot along with the potatoes. I add chunks of chopped tomato. If large tomatoes are not available, cherry tomatoes or yellow tomatoes can be used, which will add a fresh and colorful touch. I place them over the meat to finish the dish with style. I also add chopped parsley or cilantro, a green aroma that enhances the flavor. I wait for it to come to a light boil so the sauce blends with the tomato. I turn off the heat, letting the aroma fill the room. I serve pieces of meat, tender and juicy like a hug to the palate. I place them directly on the plate. I add another piece, because one is never enough. I add the tomato for a fresh and bright touch. The flavor is an explosion of tradition and care. I add one more piece. I drizzle the sauce on top, falling like a veil of flavor. I use the concentrated aromatic cooking sauce. This is how you get a pot roast that melts in your mouth and leaves an unforgettable mark on whoever tastes it. A dish worthy of sharing and remembering.